Hello again. Like many people, I'm immensely irritated by the fact that almost every advertisement I see, whether on the television or at the cinema or in newspapers and magazines, seems to feature black people. Although this process has recently accelerated, the influence of black language and music has been around for an awfully long time in the West. We might sum up the case by saying that black slang and black musical forms are with it and cool. They've been so in Europe and America for at least 100 years. This is not a new thing. The thumbnail to this video shows an English advertisement for a chocolate bar in the 1950s, a time when there were hardly any black people living in the country. Nevertheless, to suggest that this was up to date and exciting, modern in fact, there is the image of a black man and a reference to music. 5 to a bar. It is visual shorthand for what used to be called being with it. Even in the 1950s, this was not a new idea. It was going strong in the 1920s during the so-called Jazz Age. This was a time when jazz symbolised the modern world, which had emerged from the end of the First World War. Jazz was, of course, an African-American form of music originating in the southern states. 100 years ago, this form of black music stood for everything that was up to date and also a rejection of stuffy, traditional values. The black slang of America, what we used to call jive talk, is another of those things which has had a great effect on those wishing to be thoroughly modern. There is something about the slovenly African-American way of speaking which appeals to young people, and today any white teenager in Britain wishing to appear edgy will adopt black patois as a way of appearing street. If you combine this copying of black musical tastes and speech patterns with the way that we in Britain have an awful habit of slavishly adopting American habits, tastes and customs in many things, I think it will go a long way towards explaining why black culture seems to be dominant in Britain at the moment, both visually and in musical style. Advertising executives and television producers are riding this zeitgeist and have the feeling that unless they somehow work blackness into their products, they will appear old-fashioned and out of touch with the modern world.